The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Death. Something the citizens of Shady Acres knows too well. Due to an unknown disease rapidly progressed by the city's expansion rate, and left with nothing else to do, the citizens take to the streets. They rush to a transportation center to take buses to the Chirp X Space Center. Large lines queue for the citizens' chance to escape the planet. The Chirp X Space Center, the last hope, is a place housing the space rocketing program. The city's survival, or even the planet's survival, relies on the Chirp X's Kerbal Space Program to teach us how to fly across the stars. With the help of SpaceX Kerbal Space Program, we will first learn how to fly a rocket. Next, we will learn how to fly in lower planet orbit before continuing to full planet orbit. After learning orbit travel, we only have one more thing to do: space travel. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Kerbal Space Program. I'm probably going to end up deleting some of my save files because now we've got something going well for us here. Now, I think I needed to unlock something. What it was. It was something that had capsules for more people. And I know it wasn't too expensive to get to, so I feel like it's one of... That's another cockpit. That's not the same thing I'm looking for. And here's the small nose cone for it. Looking for. Oh, I already unlocked it. That's what we did in the end of the last stream before we raided out. We unlocked general rocketry, so we have a different fuel tank, which is a little bit bigger. We have the thumper, which should get us into the atmosphere orbit easier. Then we also have this Reliant engine, which I'm guessing is a little bit bigger and requires this specific fuel tank for its at least shape. It should be able to use the other fuel tanks, it'll just be an odd looking shape. And then we unlock general construction, which gives us the strut connectors, but it also gives us this crew cabin, so I think that'll allow us to allow more people to get on the plane. A cozy passenger cabin derived from a business jet and upgraded for the use in spacecraft. So we can use it in space. It's not just a cabin for a jet. We also have this structural fuselage, which is what I wanted to use the first time we made a plane, just so that the plane was a little bit extended. Because right now our plane is just the cockpit and the tail fin. So it's a very pinched oval, and I kind of want it being more extended in the middle. I wanted this for that. We also have a flag. I'm guessing this gets applied to the side of something, and it adds a flag to it. We also have the second decoupler. And then, I don't know what this is. Brand adapter. Governmental pressure and several lawsuits led Rocco Max to finally consider creating an adapter to connect its own parts to that of its competitors. As much as the CEOs hated it, however, it was a resounding success. What was it for, though? Is it for putting a small parachute on a bigger fuel tank, maybe? Because it seems like the top of it would fit a parachute, and the bottom would connect to something larger than the parachute usually connects to. So anyway, we're going to use this stuff to create a plane as just an initial test. Or Mark 0 stage to Mark 1 stage. For that one piece we're looking at? That makes sense. Actually, I want to see if we saved with Jebediah not dying. He seems fine. Okay, so we are going to try to create the canonical transition piece. Gotcha. So we're going to make a slightly longer plane here and test it out just once. And what I want, I don't really need the crew cabins right now for the test. I want the other piece, and since I don't know exactly where it is, I'm just going to click on every tab until I find it. In the meantime, I can't see chat because it's on a different screen. Oh, there it is. It's in structural. That makes sense, honestly. Later, I will get Mark 2, 3, and 4 pieces too, so you can taper your rockets. Awesome! So I can go from something like very small to something a little bit extended at the bottom. That's cool to know. Thank you for telling me. I think that's what I was trying to find when I was testing out stuff in sandbox mode. And I think I just shouldn't have gone into sandbox mode as my first attempt at playing a game ever loaded. I didn't even test the game beforehand. Whoops, that's not where I wanted it. So, a lander stage, a pun transfer stage, I don't know what that is right now, an orbital stage, and a launch stage. That is what I tried doing in sandbox mode. I'm guessing a pun stage, transfer stage would be transferring between landing but something like this planet to the moon. I get it. That's what we're going to start testing out, because today's plan is to, if we can figure out, since it's my first time playing, if I can figure out how to get to the moon, that is what our end goal is going to be, but we're going to do it in stages. So our first stage, obviously, is to go into orbit around our initial planet, which is going to be the easiest thing because I've done it with the tutorials, which tutorial for getting in orbit of this planet is very straightforward, and I understood that very easily. The point when I got into the tutorial on how to get to the moon, that confused me a lot because there's a lot of different pieces added into it. So hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. I do remember how to do most of it, but I just didn't get the timings correctly and when to actually give gas to the rockets to get us in the right spot. So we're going to do it in 3 stages. Maybe 4 if we can actually figure out how to land on the moon. First stage is get in orbit. Second stage is to get a trajectory where we go to Mun's orbit and then come back to this planet. We're not going to try to get in orbit of the Mun right off the bat, but I want to be able to get that portion because I remember that's when I got confused. ESP with maneuver nodes. That is what we're going to be doing for that second stage. I'm not going to try to get in orbit of the Mun at first, and then a flyby. That's definitely what I wanted to call that. I was spacing out on the term that I wanted to use, but flyby is what I want to do for the second stage of our plan to get to the Mun. And then the third stage is obviously going to be getting it in orbit of the Mun. And at that point, I should be able to get in orbit and come back, like with an understanding of how to come back. And then if we are able to, if we have enough time to do 4th stage, that's obviously landing. Congrats on catching the Pokemon. You got a shiny. If you are unfamiliar with Pokemon, a shiny means that you got a Pokemon that is a different color of its usual, and a shiny, being the alternate color, is more rare than the regular one. So in terms of any Pokemon, shinies are a lot better just because it looks different and it's more rare. It doesn't make it like you in the video games you can actually battle with them and they have different like stats to if they're stronger or weaker. Shinies do nothing to that. It's literally just a different color that is more rare than their initial color. But a lot of people like trying to catch them. There are streamers that go out and make a full stream of just trying to find one specific Pokemon as a shiny, and it'll take them hours depending on what game they're in. Anyway, we should get back into this before I get too distracted on talking about Pokemon. because I can go on tangents. I think connector type B is the smaller one. That doesn't seem smaller. It's type E. E is what I wanted. Because it seems like we did well when I extended the wings out more. Whether or not it actually did anything, who knows. And now I should be able to put, starting off, I know I didn't make this mirrored. I'm going to focus on one side and see if I can get it the way that I want to look first. I want to put a tail fin there, but I also want to put wings on the back end, on the sides. But not something very large. I'm hoping this will give us a little bit of like control in the back end. Whether or not it works that way, who knows? That's tail fin. This is what we were using before. That is the larger one for the Type B connector. So we want to use the Type C. Now what I wanted to do in the last stream, if we look at the triangle that this wing makes, this end being, whoops, this side being the flat end, I wanted to flip it over to this side. But now looking at the plane from this way, I do realize that it should be like this for the aerodynamic of it. I do want to try and flip it over though. I clicked on the wrong spot. If I click here, I don't know why it's doing weird things there. Am I adding a second connector? I was. I just wanted to click on this. If I try to rotate this, that does it on that axis. This does it on the other. Can I go this way? Oh, there we go. I don't know why I couldn't figure out how to do that on the last stream. For me, it's Q and E. Or no. To do it the way that I just did it was actually W and S. But we're not going to have it this way because I realized planes don't have the wings that way. They have them like this. Plus, add control surfaces. You should have them unlocked. That's true! We had talked about this in the last stream and I didn't do it. So, we also need wheels. At this point, I'm going to start taking things off and mirroring them. I want this flat for a little bit more control. Or at least a little bit more stability. Whether or not it does it that way in-game, I have no idea. This here. We do now have more room for wheels, so we could probably figure out how to do the wheels correctly this time. I want to get close, but also underneath. I'm going to put the wheels on first, and then we'll do the stability stuff. So this, I want... If I put it down here, it'll be face... The plane will be facing upwards when we add the other... This is also doubled. We want just one of these. So if I placed it further back at the bottom, the front end of the plane would be tipped upwards as the back end downwards while we're trying to take off. I'm trying to avoid that a little bit. So that should be good enough. Then we grab these, and I'm going to try put them in an orientation that makes them level with the front wheel. Seems like right there. But it also seems like they are up higher. That is a little too high. I don't want the whole thing. I just want the wheels. If I go back here, looking at this side, I might find a place that looks better. Although this is all going in line with the middle of the plane, so it's probably not going to look any different. This... that just doesn't look right. What if I put two of these wheels, one here, and then one back here. And then we have these wheels on the wings instead for stability. So we'll have two driving wheels just to keep the plane flat. The plane flat. I don't remember how we had... Actually, I should have it saved here. I don't want to save that. I just want to look at them. Okay. I can't, apparently. Because if I take the wheels and I put them lower on this, they are then facing inwards, and that's probably not good for the wheels. I don't want the whole hill. If I put them there, it should be the same thing. But if I add them to wings, they're a little bit lower. But I think this is what we're gonna do. If I get underneath it. Put this one there. It's doubled. Oops. I was zooming out on OBS, that's not what I wanted to do. If I put another one here, hopefully that keeps the plane flat, and then these wheels will help with teetering side to side. You could also just put them closer. No, that defeats the whole point. Put them back on here. Now we have to make our engines. With this one? No, it's definitely a smaller one. Who's this little guy? And then I had added on intake in the back of it. Why can't I put this on? Oh, I have it rotated the wrong way. Compared to how I want this to be. There we go. That there. I'm guessing it's in aerodynamics? It is. I wanted this on the back of it. Why isn't it connecting? Take this off and then try and connect it. Oh, doing something wrong. Doesn't want to connect to the part I'm trying to put it on. Do I have to do the intake first, maybe? I think that's what it was, intake first. Rotate this around again. So this should be the engine, and the intake is in the back. I don't like how it's in the wing, though. I kind of want it underneath the wing. That's not what I wanted. It's structural. And that would be the fuselage, which we're already using. I tried using this, it went in the wing. Maybe if I added these on the bottom, it would connect them in the right spot. I'm just gonna test it out. Yeah, that would connect it to the plane itself. I grab this and attempt to place it here. Click the motor, then the arrow can shift it free from. Oh! I didn't even think of trying to flip it like that. Oh, I don't think that's what you meant to do. I want that down there. If I click on the whole thing. That's not the right arrow. That rotates it. I think I'm doing it right this time. Is this gonna keep it mirrored so the other side does it as well? Yes, it does. Thank you. This arrow equals move mode. Well, I tried doing the arrow keys and it didn't do it the way that I thought it was gonna do it. This, on the other hand, worked right. The second symbol up here, that's what I clicked on. Yep, I have it right. Now, I am, just out of concern, going to add stabilizers on here. Just because I think this might fall off. And this one, I'm going to connect it to the side, on the side. I think that's relatively straight. It's close enough. Also has a rotate thing. I did see that, the one right next to it. Okay, so this might work better than the last airplane we did. Not sure if it will. I'm just gonna call it Air Mark II. I don't remember what the first one is, and I need to save this craft before I can look at my folder. There's a mammoth swine in chat, look at that. Oh, look at that! First one I called it was Air Mark I. And of course this plane is a little bit more expensive because it has more parts. This is what we had in the last stream. How did I get these wheels to look like they're more in line? No, they're still raised. Okay, so the plane would have still been rotated a little bit. Anyway, we are going to take this plane out and see if we can control it. And with this one, I'm going to try slowly increasing the throttle. Let's turn SAS on. These wheels are a little too low because we're turning to the right. So I need to find a way to bring the wheels down a little bit. I could probably attach them to the engine itself. That would probably give us the height that I'm trying to get on these wheels. Let's try that. Oh, you got an item. That, oh wait, no, that's a gift. I don't remember, there's a command with gifts. I got plenty of money now, especially if I haul tourists. I don't think I've had an issue with money so far. I'm guessing this is the money icon over here. So this is our total, and this is how much the plane costs. What I'm going to try to do first is move this wheel to on the engine itself and see if that works. It's not really where I want the wheels. That actually seems perfect. Let's save this and see if it does anything. So there's a command, I think it's /gift or something. You're able to give the gift that you have to someone else. It gives them a random thing. Now we're front heavy. I need to add stuff to the back. Why were we top heavy the last time? I didn't add more weight. I need to move that back further. I could just extend the plane a little bit to pull it back a little bit. I'm gonna try that, and then I would like chat's help. I forget where this was. That was a structural thing. I press Alt and just connect these two together. That didn't bring it back very far at all, so I would like to see what we can do. Fuel up front. Oh, that's true. The engines do have fuel in them. I don't see anything with the GIF, but can try. I'm not sure how to do the GIF thing. I've only done it once, and I didn't write it down. What if we add a fuel thing in the middle of the plane? Just to bring the weight back. That's too small. It definitely did bring it back quite a bit. I could also move the wheel. Try this. If I attach you to this, and we're gonna have to do this in pieces. Connect this to there, this to here, and then the wing on the end of that. That looks more or less centered. I'm gonna try this. Welcome in, Fapplejax. You're a Kerbal. I am trying. We're trying to work on an airplane for later use. Okay. So it does look like we're orientated, right? Are all the wheels at least touching the ground? They are not, at least on this one. Our first wheel is not touching the ground at all. How do I fix that? I guess it's these wheels are putting too much height in the front. I also don't know why we're currently moving. I'm guessing it's just wind is pushing us forward. But anyway, I'm going to try and slowly throttle us to the point where we can fly. To see if I can gauge the throttle of a plane. You could drain the fuel from the motors. But if I do that, then they won't have any fuel. Let's see if this works. Engine's on. I'm gonna try just 1/3 and see if we can get speed enough to do it. Oh, we're going the wrong way. I have the engines backwards. I thought I put them on facing the right way. This is the back end, so when I put on the throttle, it was going this way. How do I easily rotate this? That's the correct direction I want this to be facing. Obviously, don't want the wheel right there. Let me do this in pieces. I put the wheel there. I'm gonna grab this and just put it here. Also gonna grab that, place it here. I can just barely see that they're there. So I want this, and I just want to rotate it 180. Place it back exactly where it was. And then I probably want to put the wheels on first. I forgot to mirror the engine, didn't I? Yep. That didn't add it. That should have. Why isn't it adding it? I think I had to offset it, didn't I? Just put it there for now, and then we will offset it. I definitely want it connected like that. Okay. Now we should be able to put this on easily. If I do it from this side, the wheel will be facing the correct way and I won't have to rotate it. This seems like they're facing outwards. Yes, they are rotated a little bit. So it needs to be in the center of the engine. And then we're just going to put the struts back on. I don't think I need the struts, but I want to do it just in case that the engine isn't considered connected. I need back a little bit more. Can I get this connected straight? That's straight enough. Okay. All we did was turn around the engine. Motors aren't connected. As I yeah, that I knew at that point. You don't need it indeed. Can even make plane with fully detached engines. Are you really? Why? Well, if we don't need them functional-wise, then I am going to take them off. I'm not going to make the engines detach, though. With offset. That makes sense now. In a game coding-wise. Yeah, because it would think that the engine's still in the starting position. That makes sense. So that would probably mean I can do the same thing with the wheels. I didn't think of doing that with these wheels. Not what I wanted to do. Because I want these in this current orientation, but I want all the wheels to be touching the ground. I would sink the real wheel in, because that would have probably did the same thing, but going off of just the front 3 wheels, these 2 side wheels are lower than the front wheel. I just want this up a tiny amount. That isn't a tiny amount. Alright, we're just gonna leave it. I probably don't need to have it flat in the front. That wheel's just an extra stabilizer. The back wheel... I'm gonna try this. See if it's easy to control, at least. Our first test is gonna be going just in a straight line. You know, if we zoom in, that front wheel is not touching the ground. I kind of have the plane, in terms of the wheels, backwards. So this front wheel should be in the front, touching the ground. These back wheels, I want it in the back, but it seemed like it wasn't gonna work out right. But looking at this, we probably could have these wheels in the back. If this can't go in a straight line, I will try it differently. Just 1/3 throttle. I'm testing the directions. We are going straight. That's a lot better than the last time we did this plane. We are wobbling, though. I'm not too happy about the wobbling. And I'm trying to lift off right now. So this definitely isn't enough throttle, so if I give it a little bit more... Whoa! No! Okay, so what I learned... One, we went in a straight line. That's a plus. But two, as you're saying in chat, I obviously wasn't going fast enough. And we have a confirmed liftoff at 120, but it looks like 90 also does it. Once I lift off, I should have let go of the button so I wasn't continuously going up. I think I did a barrel roll back on myself. So what we're going to do is go back into Space Hangar, because I'm going to take this wheel off, and I'm going to move these back here. Not in that spot. I think I want the... closer to the front of the tail fin, so it's not too low in the back. I obviously didn't have it mirrored. So I'm not sure we need the wheels in the front anymore. So let's see if this works. There's a semi-seer in chat. The steerability is a little low. I will look at it in just a minute. I want to see if this, at least, doesn't hit the ground. Okay, that looks good. More wingspan. Really? For such a small plane? We're gonna do a test flight, and then I will change more things. So we did not get enough speed doing 2/3, so I'm going right in the middle. This is just to see what speed, or how much throttle I need to go to this speed. And we are going sideways. So I think for steering, we need the wheels in the front as well. Or we just needed to have the wheels reverted. Having back steering. I think I'll do back steering instead. And I didn't have this mirrored again. Okay. So, how can I make this steer better? I don't know how to look at it, at least. Get better wheels. That's it, really? Fair point. I am going to save it like this. I'm going to see what signs would need to be unlocked to get better wheels. I'm going to assume it's one of these. These don't seem like wheels. Landing struts. New parachute. This Probably is a better wheel. Does it also steer? High performance retractable landing gear comes with a shock absorber, steering, and and built-in spotlights. If we didn't tell you, you'd never know the most of these components were salvaged from scrapping machinery. Okay, so if we want a large amount of better steering, that's the wheel that we want to get to. But with a lot more science. It's 90 science. So what we're going to do for science-wise, we definitely are going to try and get this research done so we have more things to use as research points. And... well, if we get the plane working correctly, we could just take a trip around the globe and do science in different biomes. So maybe we do try to get... can you check wheel description? For which wheel? The one that we currently have? It'll tell you the weight class. Okay. This is the 2 landing gears that I use. And then we currently use this one for the steering. Steerable, no brakes. Wait, do they both have no brakes? Well, it looks like the 2 side gears have brakes. Is there a button for toggling the brakes? I know there's a thing at the top I can click on, but I don't know what the shortcut button would be. I'm gonna hover over and see if I can... look in options. What do you mean, like in settings? Looking for key bindings. Did I go past it? Key binding shortcut. I didn't see that specific. Video and graphics, gameplay. You just use the GUI button. That makes sense. I don't think any of this does the same thing that I'm trying to get to. We'll just close out of that. I will then just have to apply and apply. If I do this, we should have no brakes on the wheel, but we should still have the control. Now that definitely seems like the brakes are on. Okay, so this is off. Gotcha. Makes sense. We are going straight, so it seems like the steering wheel has to go in the back for at least our current setup. And I'm gonna start trying to do liftoff now. I know we're not fast enough. 90 is not fast enough. 100 is not fast enough. Looks like when we hit 110, we were fast enough. Okay, so I'm gonna do... I didn't mean to go all the way to here. I meant to just revert launch. This time, we're gonna put the throttle at 2/3. Do we lose control when we go to a faster speed? Doesn't seem like it. So if I pull down now, there's liftoff. We're doing the weird thing again. I have like no wing control. Once I lift off, I had like no control over where we were going. I think it's this wing. I don't think it has like an actual flap on it. If we take a look at this wing. That should. Let me redesign the front end. We're gonna want that. I'm gonna get rid of this whole thing. We'll do a type B. Add the engine back in. We might actually want it further out, and it's not in the mirrored tab. Hold on. I have a feeling I'm going to want it further out because the wings are larger on this. If I put big swept wings, which don't seem to want to go on this. It does go on there. Why doesn't it go on this? Very end. Well, it doesn't help me. This looks weird. The Elevon? Oh, I remember someone talking about the Elevons before. I just want to see what these look like. I don't want to put them correctly. So what do the Elevons do? These flight services are guaranteed to operate when attached to craft. However, studies have shown that lack of atmosphere may slightly impede friction. We place inside inventories. Control surface flap. So it would help with directions? I was trying to get a flap on the wings. Like these wings on the tail. They have flaps, I've seen them work. It's like it's weird that these wings don't connect the way that I'm trying to connect them onto the side of this. But this wing does. Should be possible to drag him on back part of tail. What part are you talking about? The Evelons or the wings? Evelons. This should come back here. I pressed the key. It's not flat. That's flat, and then if I grab this and pull it out, I think it's supposed to be applied this way? With the blue arrow facing to the back in terms of the direction it's facing? Or should it be rotated so that it's facing to the left? I think it's supposed to be this way. These seem to only want to be applied directly into the fuselage correctly. Out here, it does some weird... Oh, now it applies correctly? Oh, it just looks weird being this far out. I don't know about this. I'm hoping for more control. And I'm gonna move these back further. Let's try this, see if it does anything. So we already know how much speed we need to get to. We probably need a little bit more speed to go off the weight. We are a tiny bit back heavy. I saw that the plane bounced a little bit. If I turn that on, do we stop teetering? Yeah, we're teetering back. That could just be the ground. Let's see if we can at least take off, or go straight. Trying to turn us a tiny bit, because we're going to the left side of the runway. Oh, whoa, whoa! I saw them work immediately! Okay. Hold on a second. I saw the elevons work immediately. Okay, so that should make us go up. And that would make us go down. So do I just want these instead of wings? Maybe I want them connected to this. I'm not sure. Let's try and fly with this again. This time, I'm not going to press the keys to try and raise us up for liftoff until we're fast enough. Trying to get us to the middle of the runway. There we are. So if I press down in a little bit, we should be able to take off. Oh, we're taking off already! Okay. So maybe these are what I needed the whole time. And then if I rotate us a little bit... That's going up. That's not what I wanted. No. What are we doing now? I saw that coming. That wasn't an explosion. So I'm gonna keep it as a recovery thing. Of course, didn't get any science from that. I can recover debris. Hold on a second. Is there any more debris out here? Well, here's some of the temperature stuff. I don't think there's any other debris. Okay, so I'm gonna do a Mark IV. But these are definitely too big compared to that. Can I move this to this wing? Get rid of this. And then can I put these on the wing? I think that's what I'm going for. I'm gonna mirror this. And then, like usual, move the engine down. Since it's a smaller wing, I'm gonna move it in a little bit more. Why are the wheels downwards more? Okay, and then I think we just add another one of these on the wing. If I can get it attached to this, that's what I want. I don't think I can attach it to that. Huh. That's odd. I can't attach multiple to them. Alright, let's try and move these out a little bit then. Just want that, and I want the arrow. I can't click on the arrow. There we go. I want these somewhat centered. Gonna make this go that right there. Bring these out. And then this will just be for some directional control, I guess? How's our weight? Still roughly centered. Looks like I have a lot of lift, if that's what I'm reading with the arrow here. Anyway, let's save this as the Mark IV. Am I stuck on? We'll see if this can fly. I'm hoping for more control when airborne. I already know I have to be around here. And then we just turn on the engines and eventually it takes off on its own. We do wobble, but that's not too bad. That's just our automated system keeping us straight. We're not airborne. There we go, we're going up a little bit. We're not doing too bad. I want to try to get us to a point where we're hovering instead of climbing. I'm trying to turn us down just a little bit. Trying to get this to stop going up. That's going down. Okay, this means we should be hovering around this point. How easily can I turn? That's not how I want to turn. I think I want to rotate a little bit. And pull up. And this should turn us sideways. This isn't too bad. And if I get our point down more, that should put us in line with hovering. I think we need to go up a little bit. That was too high apparently. Okay, I'm gonna start turning backwards and trying to head back to our initial launch site. If I just hold up, how quickly can we turn? That's not good. We're going down too far. For playing with the most control, this isn't too bad. I'm not going to aim for the runway, but I am trying to get to the area around our initial place. There's a slither ring in chat if anyone wants a moth. And we are climbing still, so I probably should start going downwards. Making us a little bit more flat. Do want to turn a little bit more. So we're not aiming directly for our buildings, but near it. That should be good. Keeping an eye on over here. Because at some point when we get close to the 100 or lower 200s, I'm going to go up. Like right now. I want to slowly ascend. I don't want to have a drastic decline like I am right now. I think we need to go left a little bit more. Up a tiny bit. We're not really turning in terms of direction, we're really just rotating the plane. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the brakes. That should apply to our wing wheels. I'm going to switch this to surface. I need to go up a tiny bit because I didn't realize that that was coming down. And then we should be able to go right between these two buildings, apparently. And cut. Whoa! I wasn't expecting an explosion. We must have hit the ground too hard. Maybe I should have throttled down a little bit slower instead of just going straight 0. Let's do another launch. We're bumping a little bit. Do want us going in the right direction, though. Seems like we're going a little too left. Trying to pull us right. That was a little too much right. Oh. I did a little too much turning. It looks like we're going straight now. So maybe there was a bump in the road somewhere, the runway? We should start taking off in a few seconds. There we go. I just have to keep us at a height. Try to zoom out so that we're not too loud. Actually, it doesn't seem like it gets much louder on OBS for you guys, so that's good to know. I am trying to get a decent height up because I know when we start rotating the plane to actually spin us around, we lose a bit of height in doing so. So if I go up like this, a little bit stronger, and then we press E to rotate. I have to keep tapping up so that we're rotating the right way. Gotta get her circle up a little bit. That was a little too much. We tap it just a tiny bit, we should be able to stay above the line. Okay, this is when Welcome in, Raiders! So as Cynthia's theme's going on, I'm going to explain a little bit about herself. For those that don't know, my name is Coded. On this stream, on this channel, I mean, we do a bunch of different games in an order to show off like mankind's progression in technology and evolution. And we have gotten to our third chapter of what we're doing here, which is space travel. So right now we are playing Kerbal Space Program to try and get into space travel. Today's goal is to practice actual travel through space. Later on, we're going to be doing an orbit around this planet. We're going to be doing an orbit, which I forget the phrase for, going to the moon and back without actually going in orbit of the moon or landing on it. Then the third phase is going to be orbiting the moon. And if we have enough time, we're going to do a fourth stage of actually landing on the moon and coming back. This is also my tuxedo cat, Tori, but you can't see her head screen, but she's still here. And right now, we are trying to finish off learning how to control a plane that we tried doing yesterday. So we got a plane that's easy to control at this point, but I'm trying to get the right control of landing. We got a plane back to our station here, but when we landed, it immediately just blew up, and I had no idea why. Our first plane that we had control of yesterday, we got to bounce off the ground a little bit, but the wheels kept exploding, so at the end, the third bounce, the plane exploded. So all we're trying to do is get this current plane, which has the most control out of the stuff that we have, that we've been able to put together, thanks to different people in chat helping me. How was... Planes are much tougher than rockets? It does seem like it. We were doing bits and pieces of how to control it. The first goal for the plane was to at least get it to drive straight. Because believe it or not, when you put a plane together very fast, and it looks right, it can just go side to side like a snake, and eventually it falls off the runway and explodes. So we got that done very easily. And then we tested our liftoff. We found out that we do have to go roughly 120 meters per second to lift off the ground. Luckily, our runway dips down at the end of it, so when we actually go off the edge, we still gain speed before we hit the ground because it dips down. If it didn't, we wouldn't be able to take off right after the runway. I have a general idea of how to control the plane. We have to rotate it to actually turn. It's not like a rocket where you just turn the rudders. We have to actually... We're going flat, we actually have to turn it to go this way and turn it the other direction to go the other way. So that I understood. And you guys came in at the perfect time to see me land or crash. Anyway, how was Star Wars, Regus? I saw that you may have been doing peak on stream, I'm not sure. I know that you finished the game before I went live. I was looking you both, now I have two coded. Well, good, you can hear me twice now. Great, the lady is dead. Said hi to Darth Vader and went to Peak. Did you actually stream Peak, or did you just start playing Peak? That is the worst? Wow. Okay, Regus. I streamed a few attempted. Awesome. Okay, let's get back into the flight. Did Darth Vader want revenge for Dave? Alright, we are going a little off from where I wanted to be. I'm gonna try and turn the plane just a tiny bit. It was a little more than a tiny bit. I didn't want to be that much turn. That looks about right. No, it doesn't. It's a little difficult to control the plane. I'm going to turn on the brakes. I think we still need to go a little left. That should be good enough if I try to flatten us out. And I want that turned on because I don't want to hit the ground, but I do want to get close to it. If I start throttling down, we should cruise to the right height. I do want to go down a little bit. We are getting close to a hill here. I'm surprised that we're staying airborne with this little throttle. Although I guess we were going a lot faster earlier. So we haven't gotten to the part where we are losing speed yet. If I throttle down a little bit more... We're now below 120, so we should be dropping. And we exploded. I don't know how to land a plane. Vader probably didn't like Dave, but he has his boss's cousin, so he let him go. Okay. I don't think I'm going to try another plane. I'm going to keep this for later on. I guess we actually do need a plane. So how we got a lot of control was adding these to it, which are elevons. I added a few to the wings. I added 2 back here. And then we have these wings here, which only rotate the plane, so I might actually want them. Like, this tail fin didn't really do anything in terms of turning the plane to a certain direction, or a certain heading. It just rotated the plane mid-space, or mid-air. So, we're gonna go back to our regular hangar, and I'm going to attempt to make a plane, or not a plane, a rocket that gets us into orbit. It'll take me a couple tries, and I think I have something that gets us close. These are all of our different rockets that we've used for different science stuff. If I grab suborbit, and we edit this a little bit, I still want these. I'm gonna grab from here, pull that off. What else do we have on here that we probably don't need? That's a heat shield at the top. I probably don't need that top heat shield. That was for a specific science. We come back in the atmosphere bottom down to help slow us down. So we need that heat shield. This little orange ring is a heat shield. We have our different propellants and then our rocket here. Did we edit this? Full thruster, okay. Full thruster there. And these are all full of liquid. So this rocket here on the right continuously burns fuel, and you cannot stop it. Once you turn it on, it does not turn off until it runs out of fuel. So this is pretty much just to give us the most height quickly. And then this rocket here has multiple liquid cells, all these black to white stripes. That's a little bit black, full white stripe, a little bit black. That is one full fuel storage. As you can see at the top, it's not highlighted in green. We have 5 of these on here. With this rocket in the middle, we can control how much thrust we add in, and we can turn off the engine so we stop giving thrust and speed. So this is what we're going to want for being in orbit. I need to find a way to get us to orbit first. And I remember in the... losing words. In the tutorial, they had a second rocket, or I guess at this point it would be a third rocket in the center. I'm thinking maybe we do something similar to that. We'll grab this rocket again, which should be the swivel. I'm gonna add a decoupler. Should be this one. No, that's the big one. I'm gonna add this decoupler here. And then put this back on, but I want 2 more of them. Which are the fuels? We could probably do a different fuel tank. This one's bigger. Does it hold more? That's the question. Fuel at 45, oxidizer at 55. Then we have 90. Oh, it is actually double. Okay. So the same of this is this. It's essentially the same amount of fuel. So what I'm going to do is change this a little bit. We're going to use the bigger fuel tank. And I'm going to add 2 of them down here. So there's going to actually be... No, 3. I'm going to add 3. That should give us 1 extra fuel tank compared to this engine. Then I'm just going to grab this. You know what? Let's put it away. I'll grab a new one. We do have a new engine that I could probably be using. Let's try using that instead. And then I'm going to change in here as well. But it just went. Use the better rocket. Or the newer one. Might do this better. And then we need the wings for directional control. We go down here to this little icon and we click it 3 times, and that makes it so that we're putting 4 fins on at once instead of having to click on it each time. Now, doing this, if we cut off this engine mid-flight, that means we don't have any directional control. So I should probably actually put these all the way up here so that it's connected to the last rocket. And before I put this on, I'm just checking to see if we need anything else. We should probably add some science stuff. Little utility. We did get a 3rd science thing. So aside from what our crew can do on their own, we have 3 different things here that we can do science with. So I'm going to put these on one at a time. Don't want 4 of them. I'm going to keep this door open so that we can get out mid-flight. Put the goo canister here. We'll put this here. And then the only thing I think of doing is adding these thumpers, which is what the engine's called. Rocket, I mean. If I grab this and we do our best to try and line it up, although I don't think it would matter height-wise. I also want this doubled. I go right about here. That about the same height? That's about the same height. It shouldn't fall over. Now, I do need... Well, one, I don't like where these are placed, so I'm actually going to put these away. The decoupler. I need to move the fins to like this, so that they don't bump into the engine. They put it back on. We go back in here. We grab the thumper. And if I put it here, is it on the... It would be. I'm gonna move it down a tiny bit. I don't need it to be exactly the same base at the bottom, but I like to try and get it close. So now I want aerodynamic, we want nose cone, top of this. Wait, look. Weight's in the center. Thrust, we have a lot of thrust. I don't think I'm missing anything else. We have all 3 machine science types. And we have a 4th one with our 1 person. So I'm going to save this as our orbit rocket. Or we'll just call it Mark 1, because I'm sure we're going to have to add different things to this and tweak it every now and then. Before we fly it, which is the next step, we're going to go out to our mission control, see what missions we have currently active. We have to test the very large decoupler, which I didn't put on. And then we also have a few things here. So these are all focused observations or transporting tourists to different places, but we also have this. I'm definitely going to take that because that is orbit. What else did I want to do? I don't think there is anything else to do. We have those two. I could put the decoupler on just to get that contract done. I think we're going to do that. We go back in, we are going to add that decoupler. Does it have to be at a certain height that we use it? We have to escape trajectory with it. That's the very large decoupler. This guy. So I'm not going to do that just yet. We'll ignore that contract. What I do need to focus on first is orientating all of this stuff on the right side of the screen to be in the correct stages. So the first stage, which the numbers go downwards. The fourth stage right now is actually the first thing that happens. 0 is the last thing that happens. We definitely want the rockets being the first thing. And then we want the decouplers that connect to them next. If I move them under that rocket. Then we do want this rocket. And then that decoupler in the middle. Then the next rocket. And then we want the decoupler. So if I move that down here, this rocket down, this down, we're gonna need this in here, this rocket here. Add one, move these down. I tried before adding 2 stages at once and then moving something, and it seems like it deletes a stage that isn't being used when you move stuff. So this is the only way that I found out we could do this correctly. So stage 6 is both rockets. Stage 5 is the decouplers. Then the middle rocket. Then we break off that rocket and we turn on the next rocket. And then we take off that rocket. And this is the parachute for when we're landing. Let me make sure that I have the parachute set up correctly. Max pressure of the atmosphere, and it'll turn on or open at a max altitude of 2,000. I'm going to save this again. We're going to do a few things at the launch site, and then we're going to redo a launch. Because now I don't remember what things we did test at the launch site. Oh, which way is the door? The door is actually right here next to the thumper. Okay. The first thing I want to try and do is an EVA, which means that the Jebediah comes out, and we can do different science from here. So if I right-click on Jebediah, and we do an EVA report, no science means that I did already do it here on the launch site. So we're just going to recycle experiment. We'll keep that for later. We can only do 1 EVA per flight. And if I press B again, he goes inside. I'm pretty sure we did temperature here. I'm not sure. 0 science means it was done. I know we did the goo, but just in case. 0.2 science, really? I will keep it just for that little bit of science. And this is the new thing that I haven't done before. So this gives us a lot of science. Now we don't have anything on the rocket to transmit data. If I do this, it says we're out of range even though we're at the launch site. Alright, review the data. We'll keep experiment, and that'll keep it for later. So now I'm going to press escape. We're going to revert flight. I think we have to do it to vehicle assembly to do the science. Not sure. Do it like this. We should see science if we go out. 0.6. I don't know how much I was at beforehand. I think I got the science from that. It would have been only a little bit. But yeah, let's go back in. And what I'm going to do is put us on the launch site. But, unfortunately, I need to take a quick restroom break before we actually go fly. I'm going to pause the game here, which I don't actually have to pause. Let's keep it here. I will be right back. Okay, so what we're going to do for this flight is we're going to take off and do some science stuff, and then we're going to, again, revert to test launch site before we go into orbit. So I noticed a bunch of cliffhangers. Kind of doing it on purpose, but not intentionally. Because each science thing that we do, it has different things, different situations that we can put it in to get science again. The first one, obviously, is being at the launch site. The next one is being in flight. And then the third one would be, obviously, in space. And then after that, those are the three main ones that you can pretty much understand right away. The other ones are the different biomes on this planet. We could land over here in the green area, which I think would be grassland. We also have a mountain range up here. We can land in the ocean with all the science stuff and get more science from it. But since I only have one thing of each science, we're doing this in multiple flights. I could just put more on. I'm gonna not do that. And I think I could put Jebediah outside mid-flight. Because these rockets will get us to a point where we're breaking the atmosphere, so we're going to get on fire a little bit. Anyway, I know we did temperature and the goo mid-flight. I know we didn't do this one mid-flight. I kind of want these ready for. Okay, I'm going to press space, and that's going to start the launch. And if I take Jebediah out, right-click on him, EVA report, log it, press speed to get him back inside. This turned off, apparently, for some reason. Don't know why that turned off. The SAS is our automated system. So we might need to restart this flight. I don't know why we went crazy. I think it's because Jebediah got out. Because I remember I had this on. Does an EVA turn that off? No, he's outside. Now it's off. A little confused on why it turned off. Maybe we turned because the rockets aren't necessarily straight. No, we're going straight up. Quick EVA report. Back inside. No, he fell off! Alright, I'm gonna go back into reassembly because we do have structural things that we can add to this to make it so that the rocket stays straight. If I grab this... You there. You're not being mirrored. I want you mirrored. Go here for now. You. They're right there. That should keep these from changing orientation. Because I don't think the fins being at the top do anything differently in terms of control. But we could double this down at the bottom as well. I'll see if this works. And then we'll add more fins if it still doesn't fly straight. I think it's us doing the EVA that's making it not fly straight, but I'm not sure. Oh wait, we didn't do recover vessel last time. I don't think I got the science from right here. We didn't get the science from right here. Okay, I need to do this stuff again. No science from that. What gave us a little bit of science? Was it goo? It was the goo. Cube experiment. Now, if we click recover vessel, that gives us the science. So we should have more than 0.6. That gave us 4 combined. Now we're at 4.4. Okay. I have to remember recover vessel. So put this rocket back out. I'm gonna attempt to do the EVA thing again. Let's see if this flies straight better. Alright, we're back inside. That's turned off. So it's when we go back inside it turns off. I'm trying to get us to stop rotating. I'm just gonna take that off. Why aren't the rockets going? I didn't turn on throttle for the other rockets. Revert to launch. Try this one more time. So the moment I put Jebediah back inside the rocket, it loses control. So I have to make sure to press B and then T at the same time to turn this back on. As you can see, it's flashing now. So. One more time. Out. EVA. Log it. BT. That should keep us in flight. There we go. We're working better now. No, we're not. Are we losing control? Now that we're facing this way. Oh, go up, up, not down. Alright. If I take that off, do I have better control now? No, I do not. I don't know what's going on. I think the fins have to be at the bottom of the rocket for the control I'm trying to get. We just go like this. Make sure this is on 4. I add more fins. Why did that go to a 2? Because it's connecting to the thumper first. Middle click assumption. Oh, that didn't work. Let's see if this gives us a little bit more control. It may be that simple, just that little tweak. Okay, SAS on. I'm gonna put max throttle for the next engine. I didn't mean to do EVA now. Thought I could just hover over it. It would be fine. So, space, EVA, right click, EVA report, log it, BT. We're still going straight, that's a good thing. Let me just do this guy. And what we're gonna do is break this off. Start the next engine, break it off. I'm doing this on purpose. I turn the throttle off. That rocket is now started. If I rotate us a little bit, press space to take it off. I'm doing this so that we get the log for the flying, and then I can just come back. Now what I want is us like this. I could still hear a rocket flying past us somewhere. Oh, there's a rocket. Did it explode? So what I just did was apply the parachute. It should pop out at 2,000 meters. And this is just so we get the log for the pressure thing here, and for the EVA mid-flight. And at this point, I am going to fast forward, because this takes quite a while to get to the... I don't know what exploded. There's no other fast forward other than these. I can't make it even faster. And then before we land, I turn it slower so that the game logs that I wasn't... I don't know what exploded. It might have been the heat shield. I was trying to avoid something exploding. Sometimes the game logs that you're going faster because you're in the fast forward. Recovery vessel, that's a verb. What did we not gain from this? Okay. And then we can recover this. Anything else we need to recover? I press M, or we go into tracking station. These are all different missions that we can go on. That require us to go to different places and different heights. I don't see any other icon that would give us a thing to recover. I think we're fine with recovering everything. Now we're actually going to try and do an orbit. So. Launch site. There is an ad. So what I'm going to do is take a quick snack break so that when everyone comes back from the ad, that's when we launch. So that's what we're going to do right now. So there's going to be a few stages. First stage is obviously turning on SAS for the automated system. Make sure that we stay correctly pointed. And then I guess we just start going. Now at certain speeds and heights, should start tilting. If I start tilting now, trying to get to 70 on the bottom ball. Why are we rotating? Our little icon is not going where I'm trying to put us. It's a little weird. We're now at the point where we're getting heat damage area. We're getting to it, I mean. If I break this off, full throttle the other engine. Those two engines broke, apparently. We continue going. I should have more control over these. And I don't remember how high up orbit is. "70 kilometers above?" Thank you. I thought that was going to tell me. So we're getting close to 70 kilometers. I probably should start turning us so that we're a little bit closer to being the right direction. We'll break off that engine. The music started, so I think that means we are actually in orbit. And if I just put us flat on this line, I'd rather our ball be this way. And if I start this engine, we should be in orbit. if I press M, and then we keep throttling, we should see that this line goes the correct way. I'm in space, not in orbit yet. That's true. I need this to be... I think I should have kept more speed. Throttle only near highest point. Oh! That's the point that I misunderstood in the tutorial. Then I only shift up the lowest point. Okay, so what they're talking about in chat is we have an AP point and a Piri point. The AP point is the highest point. The Piri point is somewhere in the planet right now because that's the lowest point. So what I'm going to do is revert flight because we got close to it. I just forgot one step. If you throttle soon, most of your energy goes to making your AP go up instead. So I just made our highest point go further away from the planet because I misunderstood the tutorial. So we're just going to do this quicker. I'm going to put full throttle on that second engine, and then the third engine, we're going to wait until we get to the highest point. Which we could see what our highest point is by looking at this number on the left. This is the lowest point, that's the highest point. Okay. Start it again. Now I'm thinking that we need fins on these two to make it easier to control. Because I can't really turn with those for some reason. I'm trying hard right now to turn us. And for some reason it's like rotating instead of just going straight. I think this is the 70-degree point. You're proud of some RCS, but not much. Okay, break them off. That just broke the engine that I was about to turn on. So we need to revert to flight again. I'm honestly debating on adding fins to these. Not too many, just one fin on this portion on both of them, and then a side fin on both sides. I think I am going to do that. Before we actually take the next flight, just to give me a little bit more control. It should also help the rocket not hit us, I hope. Because the fin should deflate it, or deflect it, I mean. I just grabbed this. Whoops, didn't mean to put it there. One right there, one over here. Grab the mirror tool. We add one here, and it should also be on the other side. That's all I was doing. Unable to launch. Because we're over 30 parts. What could I take off? Probably these. Because if this works, then I don't need them there. Save it, launch. I was debating on if that was all I needed to do, but it does look like it was. Indeed, fins at the bottom to steer. You'll unlock RCS thrusters and or reaction wheels later. So this should help us steer with these rockets on. Afterwards, I'm not too sure about how this engine is going to steer. It should be fine. But I'm not sure, because these fins are at the top, so it might be a little bit fast steering or slow steering. I'm not sure which way it'll go. Anyway. This should help us steer straight lines, which we are. Look at that. That's all I needed to do. Put us on the 70-degree mark. The engine has a gimbal, so that's fine, yes. Also, in space, it's easier. That's true. Which is why I tried putting the fins up here for that whole section. And these fan engines are almost out of fuel, so they should be breaking off soon. Once they hit space. I'm hoping it doesn't hit our rocket. Oh, I didn't put max throttle. Hopefully I can get control of it. No. I forgot to put max throttle. And I am hearing Discord a lot, so what I'm going to do is turn... Let's try this again and make sure to put full throttle for the second engine. Get us turned the correct way. Not sure why we're spinning like a corkscrew. Shouldn't matter too much in our direction. It just means we're rotated compared to how we lifted off. I really don't... I don't... Because of fins? Okay. If I break them off now, press space, we should keep the same rocket going. Why is it... the fins are at the top, it's harder to control. Okay. Vehicle assembly. I want fins up here for the third rocket. So what I'm going to do is add more fins at the bottom. Although we could look at these. Not what I want. So we're just going to add more fins. Hopefully this will help us with the second stage. Why did it go back to 2? Oops, all fins. But now we're at the limit of our parts. So is that the limit of the station or the limit of this place? Vehicle assembly building can't support... Okay, it's the assembly building. I think I have enough to upgrade it. I'm not sure. I right-click. I do have enough for it. Awesome. Now I can support the rocket. We'll fly this now. I now have fins on every single engine. And if it doesn't fly correctly, I'm gonna scream. SAS. Full throttle for the second engine. Now the only other thing I could think of for why we were starting to rotate earlier is that I don't have fins on this side of it. It's also very hard to steer now. I'm not really turning. So I think these fins might want to go up higher than right there. We should be fine with the second rocket turning us a little bit more. Wait, slow down just a little bit so that they hopefully break off the correct way. Start the next rocket engine. And now we should have full control over where we're going. That's wonderful. This is what I wanted. Turn this on. We definitely are higher than we need to be. I'm trying to rotate us a little bit so that we don't go too high. Because now I need to break this off. and wait until we get to the highest point of our flight. If I press M. We're going to start firing up here. How come I don't have the icon? Usually there's a little letter icon right here. Oh, that's true. I could have just stopped firing. I didn't think of that. I thought I had to burn the entire rocket. I didn't realize how fast we were going upwards. What's wrong with that one? If I upgrade the tracking station, I get the icon here? Okay. That's something we'll do later on. I want to speed this up so we get up to that point, but at the same time, I don't want to fly past it, so we're just going to sit here and wait. I should be angled the correct way. I am going to rotate us so that the ball is the way that I want it to be seen. If I stay like this, we should be the right spot. Now, we are going a little too slow, so if I just do one triangle. Just until we're a little bit quicker. You want this button? I don't think I have it unlocked. Because it doesn't tell me. I think this is what you meant down here where it says locked, time to reach. So I might have enough money to, I might have enough money to upgrade the tracking space building. But I'm not sure if I have enough money now that we upgraded the vehicle assembly building. I'm just gonna wait a tiny bit more. I think our highest point is roughly right here. Although we could just go here, because I can see the height. I can just wait for it to be 247, and then just turn on the rocket. We rotated a tiny bit out of where I want to be. Because I don't think I can see our current height while in this. Unless it's this. No, that can't be right. Or a bit before. That's a good point. I could do it before. So, like, right now, it would probably be okay. Why aren't we rocketing? There we go. For some reason, I couldn't get it to start. I was pressing space and nothing was happening. Okay, so now I need to focus on our circle. Really, you burn half before, half after. And I did not have enough energy to make it into an orbit. So I think we need to either add more fuel to this specific engine, like maybe one more pod, but also not burn all the fuel beforehand with the second engine. That's what it seemed like. I couldn't stage from this view because I was pressing spacebar and nothing was happening. So I went out of the map. So what we're going to do instead of waiting for us to, you know, make it all the way is revert to the vehicle assembly. Since we have the building upgraded, what I'm going to do is add one single additional fuel to here. And then also not burn all the second fuel here before we get to the correct height. I want this one. Add you to here, put you down here. This is just to give us a little bit more fuel when we get to that point. And because we had a little bit issue of steering because all these fins are down here, I'm gonna move this fin up more. Can I put it on a decoupler? I cannot. Okay. I think these fins being somewhere in the middle would be better for when we're using the thumpers. You take orbit mission 2 then. I did take the orbit mission. I did make sure to get that beforehand. We're not focusing on this decoupler because I want to make sure that we can get into orbit first. And then eventually I'll focus on that contract. I do have the ability of holding 7 contracts at once instead of just 2. So let's save this. I'm going to leave for a second and see if I can upgrade the tracking building. I don't think I have enough. I apparently have just enough to upgrade this. Do we need to do it now, or should I save money for later? If I right-click, should be able to... Oh, wait, no, that tells me that. Patch code. Are you saying no to upgrading it? Money is plenty. That makes me think that you say I should unlock it. Okay, I got you. There's the upgrade. That should help us later on. What's the next upgrade? A lot more. Okay. Straight into a launch. Unable to launch. Can't afford this launch. Can't afford to launch this vessel. What? Is this our max money and that's how much we don't have, or that's how much the rocket costs? No, it's the right way. What was it talking about? Why isn't Control Z putting the thumper back where it was? Of course that took it off. Why are you unable to launch? Not enough funds. Cannot afford to launch this vessel. We have enough for the vessel. Just accept submissions, they give me advances. Okay. Don't save. I want to... grab the last of that. Because I moved the thumpers, I wanted to make sure that the supports stay in. So, we don't have that many different options for missions. They're all, you know, traveling to different places. So what I want to do is... temperatures first. That gave us a bit of money. Let's see if that's enough. Rocket costs 11. Did I misread that? I probably misread it. I did misread it. Okay. I see what I did wrong there. This rocket definitely will get us into orbit if I play it right. SAS, full throttle. Hopefully this is a little bit more stable in turning. It is. Good. Still spinning us a tiny bit, but I'm not too worried about it. There we go, we're about at the right point, or the right angle that I want to be at. break that off. Start the next engine immediately. I'm gonna turn this engine off when it says that we're getting close to 80. I think that would be better. So, like, right now. Just so I have that little extra burned power. And then we'll just orientate ourselves the right way. Get to sideways. Flip the ball around. Just for my own visual representation. For some reason, it's automatically turning or rotating a little bit more. Try to get us down to the horizontal place. Can't see purple menu? I have it open already. You should be able to see it in the bottom left. We should get to a max height of 78 kilometers. So I think last time you told me to start the propeller now. I didn't mean to hit space. That's okay. We have extra propellant in our little rocket. Oh, now I have the AP option there. Because we did the upgrade, of course. Now we go. Okay, full throttle. Make sure I have that on. Oh, that's right. We can't do a stage change in the map view. Let's see if we have enough propellant with just adding one more thing of fuel. I'm not too sure on this engine making it all the way. Yeah, I kept going even though this was getting away from us. I had a feeling that this wasn't going to get us all the way. We do need that second rocket to get us a little bit. We did get close to it, though. It's not too far away from reaching orbit. Following this ball that's with the cursor. So that's at least a confirm orbit, if I didn't accidentally switch stages. I meant to turn on the rocket by pressing Z, and I hit the spacebar instead. Alright. SAS, full throttle. Start the engine. I'm going to start curving a little bit now. I'm going to try to get to 70 degrees. We're starting to do that rotate thing that I'm not liking. Which could have been because we have too many fins. And right about here is where I'm going to stop. I'm going to want this on so I can see our max height. Slow down just a little bit so that these don't hit us. That should be fine. Next rockets. And I'm going to do 0 throttle when it gets to about 80. Which is now. Rotate the spacecraft. Rotate the ball. Just for my own visual representation. I know it doesn't really matter in terms of flying. Down a little bit more. And now I need to make sure I do not press the space bar when we're trying to fly a little bit further. I need to press Z and then look at the map. F5 to save. Good point. Thank you. I keep forgetting there's a shortcut to that. We're almost at 70,000. This will 100% be the orbit as long as I press the correct buttons. So we're at 70 now. I'm going to go to 71 and then press the button. And then if we go out here... Just watching the line expand. Even if I didn't do it at the correct time, we still have a third rocket that I can burn. So I'm not too upset with us. Okay, that was the second rocket going. Makes it more expensive. That's the next rocket. So if I start it, and then we go out here. This rocket, now that we have that extra boost from the second one, should get us into orbit. I don't know how much speed I need. Trying to get these to the exact same number, right? Yes, this will work. Indeed, check your remaining delta V after... Just greater than 70 for the lower one? That makes sense. Obviously, you want your lower portion of your orbit to be above 70,000. Okay, I understand that now. So it doesn't matter how high up we go, we have to make sure the lowest point gets above orbit. So I should be able to just fast forward and we'll just keep going around. Can always fine-tune after. I'm gonna keep the little bit of fuel that we have so that I can break orbit and go straight back down. But now, just to show that we are in an orbit. That's too fast. Sorry about that. We are 100% in orbit and not falling. So how difficult would it be to get to the moon at this stage? And I want to know, what's Minmus? Is that a second moon? Or is that a planet? I know I can zoom up further to see other planets, but what is Minmus? I did it before, and it seemed like it was a second moon, since it's following our orbit. This is the orbit around the sun. Focus on it? A second moon in the low gravity. Oh, okay. How do I get back to our planet? Can't see where it is. I have to left click first. I'm gonna warp there. If I click on the moon, that'll get me closer to the planet so I can actually see what I'm clicking on. I'm trying. I don't know how to click on the ship. I didn't want to warp there. How do I click on the ship again? I don't know how to get back to the ship. With M. That was a very simple way of getting back to it. Well, that brought us back to Mun. Well... Add a maneuver. I don't want to add a maneuver. I'm trying to left click on the main planet and it doesn't let me do anything. Oh, I had to double click. Double-clicking focuses easily. Okay. Didn't know that. I thought I had to click on it once and then do focus view. Alright, this is what I wanted. Okay, so I think we're just ready to go back down to the planet. We made the orbit. We should have made the contract. We definitely did make the contract. Welcome in, Raiders! Wait a minute. Oh! So, the command of my name on my channel does the welcoming thing for Raiders. I didn't realize. I forgot that it was a command that I could type. I thought it was just an automated thing. Welcome in, Amy. How are you? We just completed being able to do our first orbit with our first rocket. Or I guess it's our fourth rocket. So we're about to go back down to the planet. All I need to do is see which way we're focused on. Well, actually, anything in the brown means we're going back to the rocket, or to the planet. Roller skating this morning, so I'm tired, but feeling good. That's awesome. How is... Oh, no, I have to burn backwards, don't I? To make the orbit slower. Aim backwards, right. I almost forgot. So I think that means I have to find... Since I don't know which way we're facing. Do I have to be at the blue with the X? No, that would leave us further away. The triangle symbol. Gotcha, the purple one. That makes sense. If I get this right. It should be this one. Yellow one. Where did the yellow one go? This one. Yep, that looks more right. That's what I was looking for before. I had my colors backwards. There's two yellows. One has no triangle in it, the other one is the regular one. Well, this one looks like it's facing the right way. Right, how can I tell? Favor the lizards coded? What does that mean? Well bred? Anyway. I'm gonna press Z and hope that we gain throttle. Just gonna burn all the fuel so we get down quicker. And now we just wait until we get to that point. Now, I am going to fast forward through space travel. Eventually, this will change our speed that we're traveling downwards. I did pause for a second, thinking that it would stop me. See, now there's less. So, what I want to do is go like this. Break off the engine. And then I'm going to keep us ascending like this. No, I want to still be on that yellow, I think. That's not the right one. We want to be over here. That's the correct yellow one. Just click the triangle and favor the lizards. If you don't know how, Willow can show... I don't know at all what you're talking about, Well-Bred. A bit of a steep descent, but might survive. I think... Oh, I forgot to do the science! We're gonna go back up and do the science. Is it this one? Or quick save 2? I think it's quick save 2. No, it'd have to be this one. Because that's the most time on the flight. Plus it also has 4 contracts instead of just 1. Yeah, I do only have plane contracts. I do have this is the first orbit one here. It did achieve it because I wanted to go around the planet once or twice before checking it. So we do achieve that. I'm gonna do this quick save. because it has the least amount of funds as well. So I think that's us already in orbit. It is. We do have a bit more fuel. This is before we got into orbit, so we're about to do the orbit again. And I remember that this rocket does not get us into full orbit. We have to burn quite a bit of our smaller rocket. And I think if I wait a little bit closer to our AP, that might get us closer to it with the first or the second rocket that we have here. I'm just going to go up a little bit higher. That should be fine enough. I hit space. Try that again. F9 to load. There is a quicker way of doing that. All right. Again, we're going to go through this. Our max AP should be 78, yeah. So I actually was going to turn on the rocket further away than I needed to. I just want to get a little bit closer than last time because our AP went a little bit further out than I wanted to. Hello, Willow. So I'm going to press Z now. Burn off this entire rocket. That should get us closer to being in orbit because I waited a little bit longer. Now Willow's in here talking about triangles. I feel like that's Wellbred's fault. That's the first rocket. That does not get us in orbit either way. If I press space now correctly, I'm gonna press F5 to save this portion. No, I should wait until I get in orbit. Full throttle. This will get us in orbit. I just need to check here and make sure that this goes above 70 kilometers. I gave it a little bit more height just to make sure. So this is now the orbit. That means the contract should be done. Yep, it's done. So now if I press F5, that's the quick save. Anything happens from here on. Bottom triangle, left side of your screen. What? What? What triangle are you talking about? I feel like you're messing with me. I don't know how to check Delta V. Other than the stuff that's right here. This is the only thing I know how to check. Well, Brad. I know you're messing with me. So since we did the contract, and we've already seen us go around, I'm just going to turn us around and get us going back in. I don't see an orange... Oh, this orange number. Okay. You'll explain it to me when I'm older? Alright, well, Brad, whatever. Welcome in, Willow, anyway, in case I didn't say welcome in. Since you're messing with me. Okay, we're gonna turn this around correctly. So not that yellow, but the other yellow is over here. I went a little too fast. No, I knew he was messing with me, but at the same time, he was being very descriptive on where to look. Oh, right, science, before I go back. Thank you for reminding me. You send a bit flatter and a tad slower between 10 and 40 kilometers or so, you'll be more efficient. Do I want to know? Not right now. Wellbred is exactly correct. I knew you were messing with me, but at the same time, I wasn't entirely sure. So, I don't think we've been in space to do temperature and goo, but we might have been. So I'm gonna check all 4 things. If it says no science, we obviously did before. Yeah, we did this before. And that means we would have did the goo already. Well, we can get a little bit of science from recovery. I'll keep it. This is the new science thing that we added, so that definitely wasn't done. And then EVA is the last. EVA is the last thing. Right speed. We did a few flights beforehand where I did the EVAs in other places. That's all I need to do. And now we're just going to make sure that I'm facing the right way. And we're going to go back into our plant. Why are we still moving? I don't have SAS on. I forgot when we go into EVA mode and come back, it turns off SAS. Just broke 40 kilometers. Just brake till 40 kilometers? Oh, I get what you mean. Okay. Make sure that this number goes to around 40. That should be enough there. I went a little bit lower. We're at 24 for our lowest point. I could make it go quicker, though. He's way out here. This will safely deorbit. 24 is okay? Alright. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. We'll go to the normal 4. And then I'm gonna get out of this. Oh, I am not facing the right way anymore. That should be better. Yes, I know there's a new peak map in 6 minutes. So we don't want the free money? What do you mean by free money? What free money are you talking about? Contracts? I don't know what mission control. We don't have it open. It wasn't an option before we left. We only had Orbit Kerbin. I didn't have the other thing open. We had conduct temperature surveys, conduct surveys at different heights, and then transport people around. It will now? I hope I didn't need to do a quick save. It's actually my 3rd time now, Will. I played yesterday. Okay. Okay. I get what you mean now. Is that the Explore Kerbin one? Yes, it is. Okay. And then, how do we get back? You can always go back from tracking station. Gotcha. If I click on you. So if I go to our save. Green one. This one. We don't have the contract on this one. Does it only apply when we actually come back? Well, this says transfer any crew between vessels. Also from another mission in orbit. We need a second rocket. So this would be like a space station type thing. I'm okay with that. There should be a... Oh yeah, there should be a... I think it went away because we already looked at it? Or went back? We went back to the mission control place, so I think it already applied the money. Not entirely sure. But anyway, I'm going to focus more on getting back for a first orbit flight, and then we'll do more stuff for a second flight. And right now, I am going to fast forward. It really does not keep us in the correct spot. Can Burge stay? Oh, right, I could burn to slow this down, right? If I rotate us around so that engine does not fly off in our face. We do have a heat shield, so I think we'll be safe. Our highest point is going down, but slowly. We are still going down. I'm going to speed up for a little bit longer. Whoop, not what I wanted to do. I'm going to slow down. We should slow down enough with this angle. I think I should have kept the rocket until about this stage to slow us down before the burn. I'm going to try to stay in this as much as I can. That heat shield's not doing too bad for us. So I'm going to apply the parachute now. It just won't apply until we get to 2,000 meters above. And now we should see this go almost straight up pretty soon. Welcome in, first-time chatter. And now it's slowly going up to the peak. You know, I really don't have to wait for the yellow circle to get up there. But it's also not letting me stay with that point. Ton of mods so I can play Kerbal Space again after 57th time. And Earth has rings like Saturn and is blue on the title screen. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. That sounds like a lot of cool mods. But we're pretty much staying with the yellow circle. I can't really do it. That is not good. There goes our parachute. We're gonna make a successful landing. I am gonna speed us up because we're gonna be dropping slowly now. I thank you on the congratulations. I just need to make sure I stop doing the fast forward around 100 meters because last time we exploded. Because I didn't slow down quick enough. Slow down the time, I mean, not the actual speed of descent. So I stop around here. Just have to wait a little bit longer. I close the mission port. We were just doing our first orbit around Kerbin. So we weren't doing anything too special. I'm new to the game. This is my only third time playing. And now, cover vessel. I am accepting help from chat. So that's all of our science stuff. I think I did everything. That's right, we did temperature in space already, so that wasn't there. The goo would have been not there, but I want that tiny amount of extra science. That's why we kept that. And we did the EVA and we did the atmosphere thing. We gained quite a bit from that. What could we unlock with 69.9? Can't do any of these. They're all, I think, 90. So we'd have to do advanced rocketry, flight control, or basic science. And I think we wanted basic science first, because that'll give us more things to do science with. And this is just more of like a control of flying, which would be great for our plane. I think what I was expecting to use with the plane was the winglet here, because I don't think I want the first winglet. I think I was trying to make something that worked like the Delta Deluxe winglet. But we don't have enough science for both, so we're definitely going to do the science one. And then what does that unlock for later on? Electronics. Rechargeable battery. I'm guessing we get solar panels as well. I'm guessing that's what these are. And of course spotlights that we probably don't need for anything. Miniaturization. Experiments kit. That's cool. Another adapter. What is space exploration? Ooh, we could make a rover. Air kit. Hitchhiker storage container. And more ladders, so we could make ladders down the side of the rocket. That's cool. I'm excited to use those later on. And thrusters for in space, I would assume that's for... I definitely want those for going to the moon. So maybe we... does anyone else agree that we should get to advanced flight control for these? For helping me get to the moon? I remember that being used as part of the tutorial, but I don't know if I necessarily need it. I don't think I need anything in advanced rocketry except for maybe the fuel tank, which probably holds double the current fuel tank I'm using. And then this is larger rockets. Other rockets for burning. Even bigger fuel tanks, really? 400. 800, yeah, that's even bigger. Okay. Science Junior is amazing too, but pretty heavy. What is Science Junior? Is that a name of one of these? The only thing you need from MUN missions is the Terrier engine. We're definitely going to do one more orbital thing. I kind of want to make 2 rockets. One will be more like a space station, so I'm trying to get enough science things attached to the rocket. I mean, we can't afford any of these upgrades, but I wanted to know what we should do for our next upgrade. All these are very far away. Wow, 160. What's the most expensive one? 1,000 science for 1 research. I'm guessing these are the satellites. Pressure sensor plus junior science junior pod. Is that one of these? Oh, right there. I thought you were saying a science name, not a science part. That's what I was getting confused by. Terrier in advanced rocketry makes orbit trivial and moon missions possible. So that would be this one. So we should upgrade from a little rocket to this one. So I think that'll be our next science that we unlock, because I don't think we need flight control just yet. Because the only thing I can think of us using this for right now is for airplane to make it a little bit better. We also have landing, which needs that, which has an even better landing gear. I'm definitely not going to go to Minmus first. Moon is closer. Okay, let's work with what we have now. We'll go in here, see what we can work around with our science, because I don't know what any of the science stuff does. Did we not recover the rocket? We have 200,000. Okay, so this was our rocket that got us into Sputnik offers the ultimate solution in crew safety, a lightweight sphere equipped with remote receivers and relay control input from the ground to the craft. Carries no crew at all. It's giving them perfectly safe from harm. This device... Oh, this would be like a satellite. We could make a Sputnik satellite. I just want to see what this looks like. Can I put this on the rocket to look at it? I don't like the mouse controls here. That's pretty neat. Alright. Put the parachute back on. So, two things someone recommended earlier was pressure sensor, which I already have on. It should be this guy. And then you also said Science Junior Pod. Just this thing. What does the Science Junior Pod do? Cutting edge, self-contained laboratory. Have you ever wondered what happens to something in zero-G, or have you ever pondered the truly meaningful questions? Such as what would happen if I exposed this to the rigors of stellar radiation and unforgiving vacuum. Comes with complimentary notepad, recommended for ages 4 through 8? What do you mean? Small parts inside make it not suitable for small children. Well, you just said recommended ages 4 through 8. That's small children. Okay. Like goo, but a sit-on of space per activate. Oh, shit ton. That's what you meant to say. What's this one? Experiment storage unit. After discovering old snack boxes are also really effective at storing mystery goo and data tapes. Kerbal scientists created an experimental storage unit to help Kerbinauts bring their value science back to Kerbin while avoiding the hazards of re-entry, rough landing, and Jeb's colliding skills. Okay. Later, we get proper science labs. Downside is the can't stay Sputnik has no SAS, so it's tough to put it where you want. Okay. Alright, so the only science thing that we don't have connected to this rocket right now is the Science Junior. And I guess the experimental storage unit, but I don't think we really need it right now. So, do we need to take this Science Junior back into the planet? Or should I make a rocket that's more of a space station? Just slap it above the heat shield. And add a chute. Well, we already have one. Do you mean I might need more chutes? Because it'll be like a faster entry or something? Or should I make this like a temporary space station once we get into orbit? Or add the storage thing? How big is the storage thing? That is relatively small. But it can go on the outside. Is an experiment. It's a thing that collects science points from the experiments. That I understood. I just didn't know if we necessarily needed it. And you keep the science, ditch the rest. Oh, I see what you mean. Put the lunchbox on the top pod, and then I could break off the science lab. And only re-enter with our science stuff. Gotcha. Debating on how I want to do this. How many different things can I do in Science Junior? Is it worth just keeping it in the atmosphere? Or in orbit? It will definitely fit between there, I do know that. Wait, do you mean like this? The lunchbox? That is hilarious. I didn't think it would be like that. Or with the scientist on board, you can reset it and reuse. So if I grab the correct spot, there we go. Put this back on. I think this is what we were all agreeing on so far. I am a little worried on if this might burn up later on. Orbit for science, maybe some biomes. Do I have the ability to look at biomes? Let me name this as Mark II. Super original name. I think I also want to get rid of some of the other rockets, because I don't think we need any of these anymore. A lot of them were like the initial science stuff. Although I could keep it for later on. I don't want this. We have the Aqua Hop, which we didn't actually use to go around different biomes, but that was mostly because I didn't know where the biomes would be ahead of time. Do research anywhere. Use a scientist and not a pilot on the ship. No one. I don't know about that. Alright, we have this saved. I'm going to do another save just to make sure. How do I see... Has very little heat tolerance and is likely to burn up, but the lunchbox is much tougher, much more likely to survive. And it's shielded by the main capsule. I still have the rocket there. How do I do a DV check? I don't know what DV means. I don't know the acronym. Delta V. It is upgraded. We do have EVA unlocked. Bottom right of the vehicle assembly. Is that this? The meters per second? In career, non-pilots have no SAS. Yeah, that's... Yeah, we are in the new career mode. We're not in the science tab that used to be the previous career thing. Yeah, number W, the amount of velocity you can generate. Yes, it should be around 3K to go into orbit. That's perfect. This one? Did it change anything? Oh, we do get a little bit more speed. But we want this. We might as well have this open as well, so I can see what each rocket's delta V was. Delta V is math speak for difference in velocity. It represents the potential acceleration you have in your ship. "4K delta enough launching from..." I get what you mean then. So we need a little tiny bit more to try and go to either one of the moons. No? You're just saying it's enough. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, well, I want to make sure that this is on altitude for right now. Okay. Save this just in case anything changed. How do I see biomes? I'm assuming it's in the tracking station. I thought they would be in here. Oh, good debris. Oh, look at that. We got some debris out there. I might need more fuel. Alright, right now I'm looking for any other... I don't think I have anything else flying out here. To go to the moon and back, you need more. Gotcha. How do I see where biomes are? Toggle stations. They be down here? Six vacuum for landing and takeoff, but flyby should be doable with 4,000. That is what we're going to do for the next step after we do some science out here. But we could do some science going all the way there. This is stuff that I never looked at before. Are these different biomes? Does that mean I only went to the surface and the ocean? I'm just pressing different things and seeing what they do now. I mean, it costs 34 meters per 3,400 meters per second to get to LKL, then another 860 or so to do a MUN flyby. Plus, you want some wiggle room for pilot error and such. Close to science, select its data and put it in. Discard the thing without losing the data. Oh, I don't have the biomap up right now. I thought I did after doing one upgrade to the thing. I look at this again. I didn't mean to go into it. Let's see what the upgrades are. Unknown object tracking maneuver tool available. Did it have like another thing here? No, that's all it is. mean is that if you have a science junior, you can use it, then collect its data, and you won't use it anymore. Unless you have a scientist on board who can reset the design. Whoa. Tab in here. Oh, you want research it. Oh, that's cool. We get to see all the planets. Biomes, here we go. So we've done 5 different things at the launch pad. I thought EVA was crew report. Are they different things? And we've gone into the water with just an EVA and Mystery Goo. Did you take a scientist instead of a pilot this time? EVA report is different than crew report. Okay. We land on the grasslands once. Same thing with the highlands, and I guess we landed on shores, but I don't remember doing that. Oh, that must have been when we were flying. Because this is EVA from Launchpad, and this one says flying. Is min-maxing, in your opinion? Willow? No idea what you're talking about with lizards. You just fly by to get 250 science, really. The experiment built into the Kerbal. The report is the experiment built into the command pod. Oh! Okay. I see what I did wrong then. What are you guys talking about? Is something going on in Repo. In Peak that I don't know about? Come to Peak and find out. I'm not gonna do Peak right now. Can you be a mod for no reason? I mean, I'm debated, but I think you might ban me from my own channel. I think you must have ran out of the initial balls. If you do another command, it'll allow you to buy more. Alright, if you do this, you'll be able to buy more Pokeballs. So when I said Pokeshop, you have to make sure that there is no space between the exclamation point, and then the command will work. You then have to put in a number for how many you want. I know there is a way to see how much money you have. I think it's when you scroll down below the stream and you go into the extension, it'll tell you how much money you have. You gain money just by playing it more. It's auto-incurring. You can't ban a streamer from their own chat? There you go, you bought 2. So now you have to. If the Pokemon didn't escape yet, you can try to catch it right now. Doesn't look like it just escaped. I don't think it uses the ball if there's no Pokemon there. The only way to know is to look at the extension again, because I can't see it from here. Anyway. We're going to do another orbit with this. We're going to try and do the science at least once. And you guys said that I should put a scientist in here. How do I change who goes inside? I guess crew. That would make sense. Is there a way to have 2 people go out at once? Could I have both a scientist and a crew? And a pilot, I mean. A bigger pod, which I don't have unlocked yet, so that makes sense. Yeah, I only have the Mark 1. I save this right now. I do have something somewhere. I think it's in... No, it's not structural. I do have a thing that has more seats, I think. I just don't remember where it is. I'm just gonna click on every tab. Not cargo, is it utility? I do have this. Would it be worth putting a crew cabin on so I have a pilot and a scientist? Or a hitchhiker capsule? Not suggesting that you have a scientist try to pilot the craft. Flying without SAS can be a pain. That's true. That's why I'm trying to do 2 people. If I have Delta V to spare. Well, I'm only trying to go into orbit right now. And I think you guys said that as long as I'm above 3,000, that's enough for at least an orbit. Because if it is, we'll make this our satellite, in a way, or space station. I think you can unlock probes pretty early on, not sure as a Kerbin orbit, but it's in. We don't have it currently unlocked with science. At the Kerbals, check that, should be fine. Okay. What I'm gonna do is put it... I guess above the science, right underneath the pod. In case we actually want to take this back into the atmosphere. True. We're gonna add Jebediah. We do have a 3rd seat. One probe you have right now is actually so bad, don't use it. I don't know what capsule you mean. I have a Mark 1 cockpit, if that's what you mean. I don't think there's anything else that I could put someone in to transport them. Also just looking at these while we're looking. Use the pod you're using right now. The ball probe is horrible indeed. Yeah, I wasn't going to use the Sputnik thing. We probably don't need this. I'm guessing this would be, you know, at the point. Oh, it goes out the side. Gonna add it anyway. You need more shoots, by the way. That I did remember you saying earlier. 1 shoot will not slow down both pods enough. How do I tell how much speed it's going to have coming back? Do I just click on the pod and then it tells me, I guess? No, that's not doing it. We have different colors, really? Oh, that's cool. That's pretty much all it is. It's only my 3rd time playing the game, so I'm just learning different things. Throwing stuff together. I grab chutes. We have radial chutes. Enough to stop you smashing the ground. Okay, so we probably want the radial mount, right? We don't want the red one. Good at slowing us down for the main shoot, though. Blue is to land, red and red/orange is to slow us down. I think we'll probably be fine with the main one. That's true, or both. Do you think 2 of these are enough? Or should I do 4? Should be good. Okay. We'll do 2 then. For further, not always. Oh, you mean 2 shoots. It's not always good. Okay. Is this the Mark II, or should we call this the Mark III? We'll call it Mark II. Yeah, Mark I just got us into orbit. Mark II is the new science stuff. Alright, let's see how we do. We are within, like, about the last 30 minutes of the stream. So I might just focus on us getting into orbit first, and then worry about the other stuff. Let's check missions, then launch them. Oh, that's true, I should have did that first. That's okay, we can revert. I should have all the crew in. I do not. Why did the scientists get taken off? That was odd. Save that. Maybe because I reloaded the ship when it only had 1 person in it. I don't know. Check our missions. There's nothing new aside from transporting people and doing focused survey in specific areas and heights. And I don't think I have a spacecraft capable of that just yet. We have 2 temperature surveys because we were trying to get extra money. We also have the decoupler, which we could attach just to do that science thing, or mission. I don't mind having these on. We'll do them eventually. And we didn't do the return from orbit thing yet. Because we have to put a ship in space and then transport them to a new vessel and bring them back. So what we might want to do is send up a rocket into orbit with something that would be considered a space station that just stays in orbit, and then have the second rocket pick them up and bring them back for this. I'm just debating on what we do with the current rocket. But we'd still need this pod. We're just gonna fly with this and then leave it in orbit, and we'll send a second rocket up to retrieve them for the mission. And then these are all measure temperatures at certain heights. So let's go on to orbit. I'm going to be doing a few quick saves as we get up there. So the first one's going to be when we get to that height where we can start doing orbit. Launchpad science. That's true. So it's this one, right? So does this bar not being full mean I can do it more than once? And we should have an antenna on here to transmit this. will render this module inoperable. Restoring functionality will require a scientist. We have a scientist. We could do this. Okay. So if I do that, reset materials, select material, that should get us the rest of the science. One of the samples appears to be judging me slightly. I had to store it first. But we're transmitting because I have an antenna. Okay, I stored it anyway, just in case. I want to see how many times it does the experiment and actually shows me something. I can transfer it now. Not enough electric charge. Okay, so we did need to keep it up here. We need like a battery on here or something to transfer stuff. So we could take off the antenna since we can't do anything with it. And I think we did everything but a crew report, which is the pod. And we did crew report here. Got that. We did EVA here. The only thing we didn't do here was the new science, which we just put on. So this is it. I'm going to do a quick save here. And we're just going to go. SAS. Full throttle for the second engine. Turn this on. Go. And we are starting to rotate a little bit. We might be a little bit heavy in one way or another, and I can't really push the rocket in a certain direction. We should be okay. We're getting to the right orientation, I think. Might be going a little too far. Slow down just a little bit to make these rockets not hit us. There we go, start the next one. To make sure that we get to about 70 kilometers. And then we'll turn off the rocket for a little bit. Okay. I want to go up. Oh, my cat's throwing up. I'll be right back. So, since there are a few newcomers to this channel, my cat, Tuxedo, is not my cat that is a tuxedo cat. 18 years old, and occasionally throws up after eating some of her wet food. So that's all that happened right now. I'm gonna give her a little bit more treats so she has something to eat later. I'm guessing the wet food that I gave her for breakfast is not digesting correctly. Nothing out of ordinary for her because of how old she is. Probably doesn't feel good anymore. Laying down, not coming. She'll be okay later. She'll come up here for a little bit of treats when she's feeling okay to move. Alright, let's go back to this. Resume flight. We aren't at 70 kilometers yet. I'm gonna rotate it because I like having orientated upward. Even though it doesn't do anything. Trying to point us down a little bit. Okay, so if I look at the map, which is rotated for some reason. Close are we to getting to our highest? We're pretty close. I'm going to start it relatively close to the APO at 71 kilometers, just because I want that little extra height. Should be right now. We're going to burn through this entire first rocket. It's not going to get us in orbit. The second one will. And thanks to chat, I now know that the second number has to get to 70 kilometers high. So, space. Start the next rocket. I will at some point be bringing it off temporarily. Oh, we did not make orbit. I think I need more thrust, maybe? Or it was due to the weird orientation that the rocket was going up. We were close to doing it, but we didn't make it all the way. We did add things to it, so I'm gonna add a little bit more fuel to it. Okay, she's moving around. Second rocket here never brought us to the point. This should probably have another fuel stage to it. This is the one that we want. Just making sure that we didn't get something more fuel afterwards. Let's try this. And I think we're going to end the stream with us in orbit, and then we'll decide on what we're going to do with the rocket when we come back on Monday now. It is Saturday, yeah. Anyway, full throttle for the second engine, and start. Going to immediately try to get to the right angle, but the rocket rotates. I'm trying to counteract it. Just not going too well. We're at 80. That's the first set of rockets. Cut them off, start the next rocket. This one should have more control. If I can get to the right spot that I wanted to be at. It's fighting me to stay here. There we go, that's not too bad. Ah, I forgot to check our engine as we were climbing. I didn't have this opened right away. That should be fine. We should be able to make it anyway. I'm going to try burning our engine when we get to 71 like usual. Not sure if it's going to work out the way that I'm expecting it to, because we burned a lot of extra fuel that we needed. But it might. That wouldn't have burned anything off. Take that off. Start the next engine. Let's see if we can get in orbit with us. Our AP is going to be high. I don't think it's going to be outrageous like the last time we went in orbit. I could also burn in sections. We're going to run out of fuel before we get up there enough. Yeah, our AP still didn't get up high enough. Or PE. I don't want to keep adding fuel, but I think we might do it. One or two more. I think this time I'm going to add it to the second engine here. And now I need to make sure that I pay attention for directions. A, Z, government. Okay. Immediately I'm going to start turning. Might be better getting rid of the uppermost engine. Well, that engine's just so that we can get back onto the planet afterwards. We're still turning slightly. I'm trying to fight it. Here's the first rocket. Break them off. Where are we going? What is going on? Ah, I moved the fins because of the new rocket. Let me move the fins around. They're not exactly where I want them anymore. First, I want to make sure that we're on 4. Move them up a little bit, move these down a little bit. I want these up further. Maybe that was the whole control issue? Me continuously turning when I didn't want to. Immediately start tilting. We're doing that rotating thing again. Okay, if I stop right here, we might rotate. Good luck, Gino. I'm catching another chunk. We are still moving. Okay, that's the first one. Break them off. I am checking the AP this time. Congrats, Gino! You caught one of the only Pokemon that have a Twitch emote. I think there's like 10, maybe. Okay, that's the max height that I want. I'm going to start rotating our ship so we're in line with the atmosphere. Not the atmosphere, with orbit. Let's just stay right here. Here we go. That's close enough. We have about the same amount of fuel as before. But we should have enough with the other engine. I think we're at the point where adding more fuel just adds the same amount of weight to it, and it's not really getting better. As I do every time, I'm going to go to 71. Then we're just going to burn through this rocket. I don't have to go into the other map view because I could see the PE from here. We're getting closer to it, I think. Oh! Don't know why we spun around, but okay. That is orbit right there. If we go to our map, our AP is relatively high, but we should be in a stable orbit. Because our lowest point is 70,000 meters above. Alright, so if I click on you. We can put that in here. And then I can close doors. Okay. We are at the point where we're going to find someone to raid out to. This is where we're going to leave the game in a stable orbit. So what I'm going to do is put the game like this so that we can put the orbit as our screenshot. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 AM to 12:30 PM EST, and on Saturdays from 10 AM to 2 PM EST.